Welcome. Let's see how to install Android Studio on Windows 11. We're going to start by opening the web browser. And here I'm going to go to developer.android.com. Here I'm going to choose Download Android Studio. And from here we can download the latest available version of Android Studio. At the time of this recording, this is Giraffe. So let's go ahead and download it. We need to accept the terms and conditions. So I check this and download Android Studio. And Android Studio is being downloaded. It's quite a big file, so it will take a few minutes. Okay, so the Android Studio installer was downloaded. Let's open the Downloads folder. And here it is. Let's go ahead and install it. We need to confirm the security warning. And we get the welcome screen of the installer. Let's click on Next. Here you can choose to not install the virtual device support. Now I strongly recommend that you leave this box checked. I strongly recommend that you do use virtual devices, because even if you have an Android phone and you plan to use it, to use your physical phone to test the applications that you're going to develop, using virtual devices will allow you to test more resolutions, more aspect ratios. It will allow you to test your applications on tablets and phones. So even if the majority of your testing is going to be on a physical device, I still strongly recommend that you do install the Android virtual devices. So let's click on Next. And you can change the installation folder, but I'm going to leave it with a default value. And this is the Start menu shortcut, and I'm fine with that. So let's install. Okay, so the installation was completed. Let's click on Next. And let's close the installer. And if this box is checked, Android Studio itself will open. And I don't have any old settings, so I don't want to import anything. So, okay, do not import settings. And we can send usage statistics to Google. We don't have to, but we can. Okay, so this is the Android Studio welcome screen. Let's click on Next. And here we need to choose the type of setup that we want. I'm going to go with a standard. Unless you have some really special requirements, it's going to be just fine. So Next again. And we need to choose the theme. We can go with the dark one or the bright one. I'll go with the bright one. And here is what's going to be installed and set up. I don't want to change anything, so I leave it as it is and click on Next. We need to accept the license agreement of all of the things that we are about to install, so accept. And we also need to accept this license agreement, so accept again. And also this one. This is for the Emulator Accelerator, or HAXM, so we need to accept it as well. And finish. And the setup and installations are taking place. It will take a while. Okay, so it took a few minutes and I got two security pop-ups that I had to confirm, but it's finally done. So let's click on Finish. And let's create a new Android Studio project. So new project. And for the template, I'm going to choose Empty Views Activity. We need to give a name to the application. I'll just call it Hello World. And we can see that a package name was generated. And we can also change the save location. I am going to change it. And I want to create a new folder in my C drive. So here I can create a new folder. And I call it Android Workspace. And inside the Android Workspace folder, I'll create a new folder to which I'll call Hello World. And this is the folder that I want to choose. So OK. And this is the folder in which the project will be created. We can choose our development language, which can be either Java or Kotlin. I'll go with Kotlin. And we can also change the minimum SDK, but I'm going to leave it as it is. So let's click on Finish. So the Android SDK is being downloaded, but it only has to be downloaded once. So if in the future we'll create another application and use the same SDK version, it won't be re-downloaded because we are downloading it and installing it now. Okay, so it's done. Let's click on Finish. And we need to allow network access through the firewall, so allow. And the project is loading. We need to wait until it loads. So it will take another 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to wait. Okay, so it took a bit longer than I thought it would, but eventually everything was installed and the project was loaded. Let's now open our device manager. It can be found here. And as you can see, we already have here a virtual device that was installed as part of the installation. To start this virtual device, we can click here where it says Launch. and the virtual device was started. Over here we can see our current target, and as you can see it's exactly the virtual device that we have here, that's running over here. And it means that when we run our application, it will run on this virtual device. So let's do that. Let's click on the green arrow where it says Run App, and you can also click on Shift F10, but I just click here. And the application is being built, and then it will be sent over to the virtual device, and we'll be able to see it running on this emulator. And it's a bit small and hard to see, but if we minimize this and then also enlarge this a bit, we can see here Hello World, which means that our application was built successfully, sent over to the emulator, to the virtual device, and successfully ran on this emulator.